What things need to be on your IT policy checklist for 2025? A robust IT policy is so important for safeguarding any business. We've created a detailed checklist so that it makes it super easy for you and your business to follow the process and make sure that you're using technology correctly. You can click the link in the description, but here's the 12 main points that are part of the checklist. So the first is your staff use policy. How do you want them to use the technology? It sounds really stupid and basic, but it's so important, because if the person starts using it for personal use, and let's say they download something they shouldn't, is that wrong if you haven't told them that it's only for business use? The second is your information security policy. What are they supposed to do with the data? Are they allowed to download it and use it elsewhere, or is it the company's own data? You need to be really clear on what they can and can't do with the information and the data that you're providing them to do their job. The third is the privacy policy. What are they allowed to do with the data? Where should they store it? Where can they distribute it? The fourth is your local admin policy. Are they allowed to do everything with the machines, or do you need IT support and whoever manages your technology to be the administrators, in which case they're just a local user and you're going to minimise what they can and can't do with the device? 5 is the password policy. What passwords do you want them to be allowed to change? Are you going to have a strong password policy, which means that they need to use random passwords with different letters, symbols, etc.? Or are you going to have password management, which means that the company is in control and owns the password, and then the user is given the password as and when you want the access to be? 6 covers the removable media policy. This is if you've got things like a USB drive with certain data on it. You may need them to have this to be able to transport the data and go on different machines. But what's the policy? Do you own it? Do they own it? What happens if they lose it? Is it encrypted? You need to make sure that you're detailing exactly what they need to do whenever they're taking data outside of the company's domain. What's the user's responsibility for the security of the device and the data? What do you expect of them? What actions do you want them to take? And how do you want them to report any issues? Number 8 is the service account access. This means if they've got different software that's connected, and you'll have different accounts that enable them to connect different software that the business uses, how do they need to update and ensure that those stay safe and secure? Number 9 talks around the review of the user access. How often do you as a business want to review who's got access to which different data and software, and how often do you want the actual users to do it themselves? Number 10 is the security incident response plan. This is so important and often overlooked. Essentially, if they were to get hacked, or they downloaded something that they shouldn't have done, or they were tricked into doing some kind of action within the business's computers or their data, how should they report that they've done this? Often companies overlook this, and you need to make sure that it's crystal clear on how they should do it and in what time frame. Number 11 should talk around the security of the device, anti-malware and other actions that can happen, whether it's a cyber attack or just persisting on trying to gain access to the certain devices and software that the user is responsible for. It's so important that you clearly break down and define who's responsible for what, and then if they're not sure, who do they speak to that gives the defining action. And then finally, it's the user data protection policy. How are they going to protect the data? How will they make sure that it's always stored in a safe and secure place that's continuously backed up? So it's just making sure that they know not to save things locally on a device, because if that local device gets stolen or maybe is damaged, then you could lose important data. Whereas if you're saving it in the correct place, it should be backed up in real time, or at least a minimum of once every 24 hours. It's important that they understand this. It's so important that every organisation breaks down exactly how all of their teams should use the data, and also it's protecting and safeguarding you against GDPR. So if you click the link, you can download our free 12-point checklist to really help and ensure that your business stays on track, and if it's affected by a cyber attack, it will be minimal.